Hello, my name is Dr. David Plerday. I'm a nutrition scientist and exercise scientist, and I'm the founder of the Plerday Institute, a world leader in science-based weight loss. Today I have a special guest. His name is Martin Gallun. Martin, thank you so much for coming in today, sir.
Pleasure to be here.
Absolutely. So as you know, the hero of our story is not Dr. Plerday, it's Martin Gallun. Martin is succeeding in pretty much every area of his life, I can say that. Happily married to Angie. They have two awesome sons, and you lead a family business that you took over, correct?
Yes, we're located up in Wisconsin. We currently have 7 different locations, about 1,400 employees. So we've grown it quite a bit.
You took the business over from Dad,
Yeah.
right? And you took the business to a whole new level, didn't you?
Yes, we did.
It's an incredible story. So again, you were winning in pretty much every area of your life but one, and you were struggling with a weight problem.
Yes, I was.
I'm happy to share with you, audience, that Martin has lost almost 55 pounds of body fat in 4 months. We met in February on the 11th, and I measured you in a device called the bod pod. It's the most accurate instrument in the world for what it does. It measures the weight of your muscles and your bones, your connective tissues and organs. It also measures the weight of all fat. You had 90 pounds of fat on that day. We also did a historical evaluation of body fat changes, and we learned that 2 years prior, so you walked in at 258 pounds, 90 pounds of fat, 168 pounds of muscle, but 2 years prior, you were 280. You had 122 pounds of fat. At that point, less muscle, 158 pounds of lean tissue. And the other thing, when I conducted the assessment, I learned some things about you. We went back to the time you were a teenager. And I learned that as a teenager, you played football. You're what, 5'10"? 5'10". At 18 years old, you weighed 205 pounds. And I estimated that your muscles and bones were just under 170 pounds, so you were muscular. Body fat at the time you were 18 was 36.9 pounds, which was 18% of your total weight. You'd gone from 36.9 pounds of fat at the age of 18 to the age of 49 weighing 280. You had 122 pounds of fat. So you had increased your body fat weight over the course of time by 85 pounds. And that 85-pound gain was a 230% increase in body fat. Since the time we met, which was 2 years after the high point, you came in at 258. Today, you're down 54 pounds of fat in 4 months. It's a 60% reduction. Not only that, you've gained 5 pounds of muscle.
And thanks to you and your program, it's been extremely easy.
Congratulations on that, man. Truly an inspiring story. Thank you for being willing to share. That means a lot to me. Can we talk a little bit about the pain that you felt prior to starting the program?
Well, I really felt uncomfortable in my own skin. Very successful in business, happily married, 2 wonderful kids. They're off in college now. They're doing extremely well, well adjusted. Everything about my life was good, except the fact that I was, not sleeping well. Had to hold my breath to tie my shoes. Just, uncomfortable in my own skin. Just, way too much excess body weight. And in addition to that, having medical problems, I was headed down the path towards diabetes. The doctor kept adding, adding more and more medications to my list, and said I needed to cut carbs. Well, she didn't give me any more instruction beyond that, so it was really a struggle for me to, I tried cutting out carbs, but then you have carb cravings. I hired a personal trainer, so that's how I got off, from the high weight that I was. I had managed to
From 280 to about 260, yeah.
So I'd managed to lose some weight, but it was so frustrating because, I was beating myself up 4 or 5 days a week with a trainer and not getting the results that I needed to see. And fortunately, I agreed to do this video because a good friend of mine had done a video like this.
Paul Whitaker.
And he was able to get off some of the medications that he was on because I didn't even think the guy was heavy. but he was able to get off those medications. So I took a leap of faith. Came down to see you one Saturday in February, and you've been able to turn my life around. And I've been working with a lipidologist for 15 years. I've had the first normal blood panel in my adult life.
That's incredible.
It really is.
Thank you. When we first met and I went through your health history, we did the half-day assessment, and I learned that from the time you were a teenager to when you were just under 50 years old, you'd gained 85 pounds of fat. And when I palpated you, I learned that a significant percentage of that body fat was intra-abdominal. And so the body had actually manufactured new fat cells, and those fat cells had encroached your liver. And you had a condition called non-alcoholic fatty liver, and it was affecting your triglycerides, your cholesterol, your liver enzymes, your fasting sugar, and you were on a glide path for type 2 diabetes. So there was confusion. You'd been given advice, but no real clarity, no specificity. You were frustrated with a lack of progress. There was some fear about the trajectory of your health. You didn't like the way you looked or how you felt. Not good, right?
Right.
And then you came down for the assessment. I prescribed a regimen for you. Let's pivot. Let's talk about some of the big learning points. So one of the things that we led with on that very first day on February 11th of this year was that you had a problem in your fat cells.
Right.
It's an enzyme suppression. This enzyme, hormone-sensitive lipase, that controls your individual fat cell weight. And when that enzyme is in suppression, can you have any substantial fat loss? Absolutely not. Now, I told you something that was outlandish. I told you that I was going to be able to reverse the enzyme suppression in every fat cell. And how long was that going to take?
3 days.
Yeah, and I know you believed me, but that's exactly what happened, right?
Yep. We
were able to reverse the enzyme suppression, and as a result, your fat cells have been in a continuous state of degrading the triglycerides, the mobilization of fatty acids. And fat cells, of course, have gotten smaller every day, every week, every month at a mathematically linear rate. Now, when we first sat down, I set an expectation that you were going to lose what percentage of body fat per month? Do you remember?
14%.
14%. What has it actually been?
It's been over 20%.
Or over 20%. So your body fat measurement today, which is June 18th, was the body fat expectation we were projecting for this time in August. You're 2 months ahead of the schedule. How do you feel about that?
I'm elated. I'm overwhelmed.
Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it?
It's a wonderful experience.
It's truly been inspiring to watch. One of the other big learning points that we talked about was that you'd been working with a trainer, and let's just be frank about it. He was busting your ass,
Yep.
and you were over-exercising,
Yep.
exhausted,
Yep.
craving sugar,
Yeah.
eating sugar, and you made some progress, but at a certain point, which was not anywhere near what it needed to be, what happened? No more progress,
No more
right?
progress.
Yeah.
And
So then,
they were nice kids doing the training.
Yeah.
But they were training in all the wrong way.
no science, no
You
real.
showed me the right way to do it, and it was so much easier than I'd been doing. So many less injuries.
Right.
It's easy, and the fat just comes right off.
It's amazing. We placed you in our human performance laboratory, right, on February 11th. And we studied your muscle metabolism response to very specific changes in exercise exertion. And from that, I prescribed exercise in a way that was metabolically controlled. What that means, audience, is we isolated the muscle contractions for only the utilization of fatty acids coming out of the fat cells while sparing the glycogen in your muscles. And so what didn't you crave anymore?
I didn't crave the sugar.
No sugar cravings, no overuse injuries. It's easy. I mean, it's not hard, right?
Right.
And I know our audience will appreciate that this can be done in a way that's not burdensome. I prescribed a regimen for you, specifically for you. And everything we did was based upon science, right? We measured the chemistry, the things we can't smell, the things we can't taste, the things that we can't detect. in everything, your foods, your fluids, your pills, your capsules, your tablets, your bars, your shakes, your drinks. I put you on a new regimen. We controlled the fat cells, but it was backed by a chef. So we finessed a meal plan for you centered around things that you actually liked that tasted delicious. How did having that chef-supported process from the culinary perspective, how did that affect your experience?
It was wonderful. I didn't feel like I was dieting. I got to eat a lot of the foods that I love.
Yeah.
And it was, the weight just comes right off.
Incredible. Let's talk about accountability. What's it been like for you having a doctor in your corner who holds you accountable every day? And then of course we have sessions every week and full reassessments once a month. What's it been like having a doctor in your corner with such personal attention?
It's been wonderful. You're my coach, you're my friend. You're with me on the journey to lose weight. And if you stumble and fall, you're there to help pick me up, dust me off, and get me right back on plan.
Absolutely. So, what a pleasure it's
wonderful.
been to be there for you. How has this process affected you mentally and emotionally?
It's given me so much more confidence. I look to other people, how I kind of felt inside all along. It's been really a blessing.
Wow, that's amazing. Martin, I'd like to pivot in our conversation right now. I'd like to pull up your pictures on your before and after pictures. So if you don't mind, let's take a look at the full front picture. On the left, we see you at 258 pounds with 90 pounds of fat. On the right, we see you today at 209 pounds at 36 pounds of fat. That is a 54-pound fat loss. It's 60% less fat in 4 months. What do you see?
I see a whole new me. I look wonderful.
It's incredible, isn't it? I look at your face and the body fat loss in your face and in your abdomen, and your body shape is returning to the way it probably looked when you were
back in high school.
Exactly, yeah. Right? It's amazing. Let's take a look at the upper body side shot. What do you notice? What do you notice about your waist circumference?
I've got a waist rather than a flab of fat around there, and the muscular definition in my arms and my chest, all without a strenuous workout.
It's amazing. This view in particular really reveals the massive reduction of the intra-abdominal fat that had affected your liver function and your lipid panel. And you had alluded that this is the first time in your adult life you've had a normal lipid panel. That is amazing. Let's take a look at the upper body rear view. What do you notice from the before and the after?
My posture's actually improved.
Absolutely. I notice the roundedness in your upper back, and it's kind of puffy, and then I see much greater definition on the right, and your V shape is absolutely coming back.
I think I was swollen from all the sugar in my diet.
Absolutely, right? Let's take a look at the before and after face shot. I think this is perhaps most inspiring to me. What do you see?
My neck.
Right? Neck circumference has changed. Your facial features are much more defined. But there's something else I see. It's the joy. When was the last time you were 200 pounds in your life?
1988.
Yeah. So it's
been a long time.
It's been a long time.
Been a few years.
I want you to imagine for a second our audience. There's a man or a woman out there, they're listening to your story right now, and they're hearing it for the first time. What would you say to him or her to encourage them to take the first step and call?
I would say if you've been struggling with weight loss and you feel like you can't get it done, I would say call Dr. Fleury because he's going to be able to help you lose the weight.
Thank you, sir.
Thank
You
Dr.
truly are an inspiration, man. It's been a pleasure. Thank you, audience, for taking the time out of your busy schedule to watch this conversation. I hope you found it to be very encouraging. And I'll close our conversation with this. You don't have to struggle anymore. Pick up the phone and call 844-756-8733. We'd like to get you on the right road to better health, joy, and self-respect. Thanks again for watching.